The New York Knicks' next move has just been revealed, as New York is making a surprising change to their team that has not been talked about a bunch this season, but looking at things, it does explain a lot for the future of a young up-and-coming fan favorite, and we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always, and if you're part of that 63% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. I know I ask it every video, but it really does help me out a ton. I'm on that grind, multiple videos every single day for all you Knicks fans out there. This is the best place to be for Knicks content. I promise you it's the most fun you're going to have watching the Knicks on YouTube. But let's jump into the video. We have a lot to discuss as the New York Knicks, headlined by Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, are making a serious change to the team, and this explains a lot about Tom Thibodeau's rotations and one of the moves that Leon Rose made last summer. It all starts to add up when you look at everything in regards to this player right here, Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa has been a key player for the New York Knicks for over a year now, ever since the Knicks acquired him in the OG Anunoby trade, where they sent out RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley in exchange for OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn. Now, obviously, Flynn's gone, OG's broken out, and Precious Achiuwa is still on the Knicks, with his role kind of changing on a night-to-night basis. This video is being filmed on April 10th, so this is a game that Precious will be starting against the Detroit Pistons. Likely a little preview of the first round, except for the fact that the Knicks are missing multiple players, including OG Anunoby, as they're getting some rest before the playoffs begin. But in regards to Precious, we got a massive update from Knicks insider James Edwards, who revealed Precious's future with the New York Knicks. As Edwards mentioned, to me, the Knicks not re-signing Precious Achiuwa over this offseason has been evident in a few ways. First, the team brought him back last summer on a one-year deal, but would only do so if he waived his no-trade clause. That alone signaled that the Knicks have been willing to move Achiuwa had Mitchell Robinson been healthier sooner rather than later. Secondly, the team has been at full strength, or since the team has been at full strength, Precious Achiuwa has been out of the rotation. Now, Achiuwa this season is averaging 6.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 1 assist, with 0.7 blocks and 0.8 steals per game, shooting 51% from the field and 28% from 3. Now, those numbers are solid. The shooting is a little bit rough, and there was a point where every time Precious made a 3, because he doesn't shoot too many of them, it would actually signify the Knicks would win the game. That was a fun little stat for everyone out there. But where Precious Achiuwa stands right now, his time with the Knicks is likely coming to an end. As Edwards mentioned, which I think has been a key thing also, the Knicks only re-signed Precious if he would waive that no-trade clause, because the Knicks wanted to move him, and they probably gave him an extra $2 to $3 million for him to waive that no-trade clause, so they could try to move him over the trade deadline area and have a tradable expiring contract in that $6 million deal. However, with Mitchell Robinson missing a ton of time due to injury and it becoming evident that Jericho Sims wanted to be traded and was going to get traded, the Knicks couldn't stretch themselves that thin, so they did keep Precious around. They also ended up being able to play Ariel Hukporti in some of that time, and just to be clear, Ariel Hukporti will come up later again in this video. He is actually a key part to all of this going down, and we will explain that in a bit. But in regards to Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks front office in general, they brought Precious Achiuwa back as a tradable contract and also a viable guy to bring off your bench. But he's been up and down this season. There's been some good moments where he's absolutely looked great, but there's also been moments where he hasn't, and it depends a lot on his confidence and his role. Tom Thibodeau has adjusted Achiuwa's role a lot, especially recently. It's when Mitchell Robinson doesn't play, for instance, tonight against the Detroit Pistons, he's not going to play. When Mitch doesn't play, frankly, what we see is a Precious Achiuwa who's confident that he's going to get his 25 to 30 minutes a night, and when he does that, he plays a lot better. But when he doesn't get that, he struggles. I think Achiuwa is on a one-way road to finding himself on a bad team in a bigger role. I think that's what he needs at this point in his career to find his confidence, is to go to a thinner team and essentially be able to play as a top bench guy, potential starter at some points, so you could find your confidence and find who you are as an NBA player. Because Achiuwa has struggled with that from Miami in his rookie year to the Raptors for a few years, and now with the Knicks, he has struggled to find who he is as a player. And because of that, he's been up and down. He's had great moments like locking down Joel Embiid in Game 3 of the first round last year, where he held Embiid to 1 point in the fourth quarter, also blocking a three-point attempt by Embiid in a key moment of that series. And there was great moments for Achiuwa, but there's also been bad moments. And Knicks fans have not been afraid to jump on Achiuwa in these bad moments. I mean, see people say, I have to watch Precious Achiuwa play basketball today because he's in the starting lineup, and the video of Luka Doncic crying last night after getting his Mavericks tribute video. So there's something there where basically Knicks fans are making fun of him. It doesn't stop there with people saying Achiuwa's most entitled basketball player of all time. The audacity to jump through the screen on a pump fake and then not box out and walk up the floor. Precious Achiuwa is literally the worst player I've ever seen. And then also breaking, the NBA has opened an investigation into Knicks forward Precious Achiuwa for betting on his unders and manipulating his own statistics. Obviously, that's not true. That is just the exact tweet that was sent out about Jontay Porter, who was banned for life after essentially shaving his own numbers so he could make some money off it. Now, obviously, that didn't work out very well for Jontay Porter, who's now banned for life from the NBA. But, well, his brother's making good money, so Jontay will be fine. Achiuwa, however, he's not fine according to Knicks fans. Knicks fans have completely turned on Precious Achiuwa entirely, and I think he is a very particular player. He's a very good defender, but he's a bit undersized for a big man, but he can't shoot well enough to not play center, so that does kind of lead to some issues. He's a true tweener at the end of the day. He's just a complete tweener. He's better as a power forward, but it's only if your team's center can shoot the ball a lot better. So, yeah, the Knicks should be a team that works for him. And we've actually seen him be solid as a starting power forward for the Knicks. Both next Isaiah Hartenstein, who wasn't shooting the ball last year. But even with Karl-Anthony Towns this season, we saw Achiuwa play well. But there's also been times where he hasn't. And we're seeing, as Knicks Muse mentioned, Precious Achiuwa is the first player in NBA history to record the following numbers in a single game: under 10% from the field with 11+ field goals attempted, 0% from the free throw line with 2+ free throws attempted, 2+ turnovers, and 0 3-point attempts. First of all, happy birthday to Knicks Muse. Shout out. He's 22 years old, and then said he lost the UNC allegations. You're 22. As someone who's 23, you're quite young. Don't freak out. But I don't think he's watching this video. Maybe he is. I hope he is. But where Precious Achiuwa stands as a starter, the numbers have been good. I mean, scoring nearly 12 points per game, 11.5 points per game in 35 minutes played. He's also getting 8.8 rebounds per game, so basically 9 rebounds as well, with 1.3 assists, 1.3 steals, nearly a block per game, shooting 54% from the field and 30% from three on quite limited three-point attempts, but still something good to see, with a 58.5 true shooting, which is not bad at all. So there is a lot about Achiuwa that makes things complicated, because there's moments where he just does not look like a viable NBA player, and other moments where he looks like he could really break out and be a very good role player in the NBA. It's just a matter of him finding himself, and when you're on a contending team like the Knicks, where your role is changing on a night-to-night basis, it makes things tough, especially when you have a young guy in Ariel Hukporti, who this season only put up 2 points and 2 rebounds per game, but showed a lot of promise. I mean, had that great dunk on Evan Mobley that didn't count because it was some BS offensive foul that was not an offensive foul. That was a legendary moment. It was his first ever basket in the NBA had they counted it. Look, Hukporti is way more confident than Precious Achiuwa is already. He's a better passer. He dribbles the ball better. He is a great defender and rebounder as well. Has really figured out the defensive side of the ball. Finds rebounds very well. And again, just an excellent high post player. So Hukporti very much has some shades of Isaiah Hartenstein to his game. Not because he's German and wears number 55 on the Knicks, just because the way he plays out of that high post well and likes to put the ball on the floor and can create some plays for others. And the Knicks like Ariel Hukporti a lot and want to move forwards with him, so it's going to lead to the Knicks using him more, especially in regards to the fact that they have to save money and Hukporti's on a cheap deal. You look at the Knicks next season, and they're already in some cap trouble as it is. They're only $3-ish million away from that first apron and $8 million away from that second apron. So things are going to have to change. I mean, they are going to trade PJ Tucker away, so they're going to accept that contract and then trade him away to manipulate some salary cap and get a bit more money added on. So shout out Brock Gallagher for that. But on top of that, they might have to make other moves too. It's why I've said there's quite a good chance that Mitchell Robinson gets traded off the New York Knicks, because they might have to save money and they might trade Mitchell Robinson and then move to signing like a Steven Adams for cheap or something, just so they could save the money and continue to build up Ariel Hukporti. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I feel like when I say that I think the Knicks are going to do something, it's very often perceived as, well, I want the Knicks to do this. I don't want the Knicks to trade Mitchell Robinson at all. He's my favorite player on the Knicks. I just do think he's going to get traded at some point because he's going into that expiring deal. And on top of that, the Knicks are going to have to save money. It's not a guarantee they trade him. Maybe they do at the deadline. Maybe they do in the offseason. Maybe they don't at all and they re-sign him. That's also possible. But where the salaries stand right now in that massive Karl-Anthony Towns deal, it feels like the Knicks would try to save money on big men as much as humanly possible outside of that. But we are yet to see that, and we'll see what happens there. And we'll report on that when that happens or doesn't happen or we hear more about that. But where things stand for Precious Achiuwa, it is likely that we are watching his final games with the New York Knicks. This will likely be the last time we see Precious start for the Knicks as well. Potentially again against the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn in the final game of the year. But that's not a guarantee. It depends on who's sitting, who's starting for the Knicks. I imagine Jalen Brunson sitting tomorrow against the Cleveland Cavaliers and will play against the Nets and the Pistons, so he hits that 65-game mark, gets to be in the NBA awards, gets to be All-NBA second team, gets to be the clutch player of the year, all that good stuff. On top of that, we'll see Mikal Bridges play out because he doesn't miss games. We'll see OG at least take one of, the Pistons game he's taking off. The Nets game, maybe. I kind of want him to just to get him the rest. Same thing for Josh Hart. I kind of want him to take off. I kind of want all the guys who are missing today to also miss against Brooklyn because there's no reason to try against Brooklyn. Win or lose, the Knicks would have to lose out in order to lose that third seed. And frankly, if they lose the third seed, then they don't have to play the Cavs or the Celtics in the second round. So it's really not the end of the world if they do. And also the Pacers would have to win out, something that doesn't feel like it's guaranteed at all. So the Knicks don't really, these games, I don't want to say they don't matter, but they only matter so much at the end of the day to where if they drop all three, they'll likely stay at the third seed. And even if they don't, might be for the better, honestly. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.